But please, my lord, we did not start on time this morning as Morabi facility where accused number 4 is being detained was late. And secondly, the court requested that Ms. Pinky Fillingham of Vodacom should attend court today.
Yeah.
She's indicated that she's already committed for the next 2 days. She can be here on Monday, my lord.
Okay, fine. Now we'll have to talk about that. I was making that request because there was an allegation that I said a person can't testify on the documents
Of somebody else, yes.
Yeah, but I pertinently remember what I said. I said, this lady, Pinky Fillingham, can't testify on the affidavit of a house.
Yes.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Now this witness, the colonel here, he says, I am the one who composed this document.
Yes.
They say you can't testify on that because it's a document of Vodacom.
Yes.
But his evidence, he compiled this document together with using the numbers of, I think, number 5,
Yes.
Kelly and
the deceased.
the deceased. And the other thing is, the evidence in this court is, once Vodacom has delivered the 205 documents to the police, or TSU as you call it, they become their own property.
Yes.
Am I correct or am I dreaming?
Yes, well, this is what the witness said.
That's it.
Yes.
I mean, it's like selling a Bentley. Once you pay that 8 million, after taking it from whoever,
Yes.
it becomes yours.
Yes.
So that's my view.
Yes.
But it's different with an affidavit, obviously. Okay, that's my view.
Yes.
So I was thinking widely about the fact that they are saying this gentleman, the colonel, can't testify on documents of Vodacom. Even if he says, I am the one who composed and compiled and configured Exhibit KKK 5C. Is that what you said?
That's correct.
That's my point. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. Yes. So you said you are going to show us how you went about compiling that document.
I can do it. Hello. This is the same copy you got.
Which copy is that?
That's the one I compiled yesterday. You can see it's a bit small because I have to put both pages together to prove that I work under information from Vodacom and the information we receive on the 205. So I can hand.
Have you discussed with all of them how you're going to explain this document?
No, not yet.
Let us simplify that. So if you don't want to have a conference with the colonel,
But,
so that you must tell us how he compiled this. If you don't want to, there's no problem. He can say it because I was asking that question in clarification.
yeah. No, because actually I already explained to the court.
Yeah, fine.
What I did, I used the downloads and I used the section 205.
Right.
And I combined the two. If you see under downloads, the conversation or the transaction happened at say 10 to 5 on that day, you just go to the 205 on that day in the date and time and you compare the two.
Okay. So it was a comparison of both documents.
That's
which are
correct, yeah.
The downloads and the section 205.
That's correct, yeah.
And then you combine them.
That's right. And you make one statement of it.
And this is dictated by the time.
That's correct, yeah. The date and the time.
The date and the time.
That's correct, yeah.
So it's how many? Was it 3 documents? In other words,
No, that's
you used 3 numbers. You said.
only on this incident, only
Yeah,
the
on
one
this
of Kelly.
incident.
But there was 3 numbers on my 205
Oh,
which
I
I
see.
received.
There were 3 numbers on the 205.
Yeah, but I only concentrate on this document on the number of Kelly.
So this is how you compile this
That's correct, yeah.
exhibit. What exhibit is this now?
It's going to be Exhibit 5E.
5E.
Yeah. You will see on my last page, I actually put the extraction of the download, and
Yeah.
then the column I put in my statement as per page 23.
You don't have a bigger font.
No.
You
That's
you-
my problem.
Are you saying we put a man on the moon, and then in South Africa we can't enlarge the font?
No,
We can't.
no, I can't. Because then I'm not going to put both pages together on one page.
Okay, but can we read this small font?
Yes, yeah, you can read.
I'm half blind, so see. So that's the only way you
That's the only
compiled
way.
it.
Yeah, and that is the reason why I put the two together here. Because maybe I should just hand it to them and then we can go through it page by page.
Yeah. If you want to.
If the court allows me. While we're on this, my lord, I just want to mention to the court, I hope we can finish today or tomorrow because I'm not available next week or thereafter.
Well, I don't have control over that.
Yes, but I just want to mention it to the
Yeah.
court.
So you're saying you're not available tomorrow?
No, tomorrow I'm still available.
Oh, okay.
But I'm also leaving on the latest, let's say 2 o'clock.
Oh, you've got to be at the airport at
At 2,
2 o'clock.
that's correct.
Meaning you must leave here at 10.
Oh no, one if the road is open.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's continue then.
Everyone got one now. Okay, if we go to the first page.
Uma siyake ekhasini lokuqala
Oh, let me put it on the screen.
Yeah, maybe, fine. And you're going to have to be cross-examined on this because
Yes.
it's my request for the explanation.
That's correct, they can ask me.
Yeah, they'll have to.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
the court, madam.
Yeah.
I'm requesting the court to make a clarification here because the witness was still under cross-examination.
Yeah, he's still under
So
cross-examination.
I'm putting my cross-examination in abeyance in order to attend the issue
Okay,
that,
if you want
that were raised by the
If you
court.
want us to do it the other way, you can do it. Because you must remember this evidence came
Yes.
after he said he composed the document.
Yes.
Now, I just wanted to know how did he compose it. But if you don't want to hear that, there's no problem. I can ask that after you've cross-examined. You can take down that concoction.
No, I just wanted to clarity, my lord.
No, fine.
that
Continue
we
with
are-
the cross-examination.
We are suspending my actually we're putting my cross-examination
Yes,
in
fine.
abeyance for
Let me
him
not-
to continue
Let me not do that.
with this clarification
Okay,
to the
let me
court.
not do that. Are you saying it's illegal?
No.
Okay,
I
fine.
just wanted clarification, my lord. Because
Yeah, fine, no problem. I thought we all read section 167 and 168. I'm acting in terms of that. Yeah,
Then
no,
if
no,
that
but-
is the case, my lord, is fine. Then we can put my cross-examination in abeyance and
no,
allow
no.
him the space
No,
to
look.
clarify the court.
That section doesn't say that. Can you give me the 167 there? Yeah, it's 167 and 186. You don't have a church? Yeah. Just read 186 and 167.
167 reads
Mr. Ramasipiri will read 186.
reads as follows.
So that he reads 167, you read 186.
The heading is Court may examine a witness or person in attendance. The court may at any stage
Yeah, that's what I'm using, at any stage.
of criminal proceedings examine any person other than an accused who has been subpoenaed to attend such proceedings or who is in attendance at such proceedings, and may recall and re-examine any person, including an accused, already examined at the proceedings, and the court shall examine or recall and re-examine the person concerned if his evidence appears to the court essential to the just decision of the case.
Yeah,
Then
fine.
section 186.
Why don't you think Mr. Ramasipiri must read it? You don't have a... You don't have the...
Section 186, probably. You can go 186.
186 is that side.
Okay. I can't see it. No, this thing is too small for me. Read it for me.
Mr. Ramsipil has asked me to read it.
Okay.
Court may subpoena a witness. There's a heading of the section. The court may, at any stage of criminal proceedings, subpoena or cause to be subpoenaed any person as a witness at such proceedings, and the court shall so subpoena a witness or so cause a witness to be subpoenaed if the evidence of such witness appears to the court essential to the just decision of the case.
Okay. Yeah, it's 167. Yeah, but continue, Mr. Mnisi. You've removed that thing. Okay, fine. Yes, Mr. Mnisi, you can continue with your cross-examination.
I'm not so sure, Madam. The court will recall yesterday that it raised the possibility that Mrs. Pinky Vittilingam should be here. I'm not so sure whether the state has addressed the court in that regard. Thank you, Madam.
No, he's already told me that he's not available today. He says he's available tomorrow. And I said, when I intended to call him, it was because I was being accused of letting a witness who is not employed by Vodacom, of using Vodacom documents. And on second thoughts, it's obvious that this very witness, Colonel Stein, is the one who composed the document, not Vodacom. Vodacom gave the police 6,296 pages of Section 205 numbers. Is that not so?
Yes.
And Colonel Stein then says he went about his job as an analyst. Eventually, he composed this KKK 5C, triple K 5C. That's why it was arising. But I don't think it's necessary because he is the author or the compiler of the very document which he characterizes as KK5C. And that KK5C is a it's a consolidation of about 3 other numbers. Okay, you heard me. Can you continue, sir?
Thank you, Madam. Mr. Stein, the compilation of cell phone data by Vodacom is governed by the provisions of Section 25 of Act 2002, which is the Electronic Communications and Transaction Act. That is the authority that empowers them to compile cell phone records and data. Now, in your case, what body of legislation or authority enables you or empowers you to compile all the information that you just presented at court here.
My Lord, did he address me or Mr. Steyn?
The address is Colonel Steyn.
No, Mr. Steyn.
Okay, fine.
Well,
On his behalf, Colonel Steyn, may you answer that?
The investigation officer, like I already mentioned in court, applied through the normal legal way to get hold of the documentation. It's been signed by a magistrate, and in that way we receive it in a legal way.
Thoke lapha iliphike uphike umthetho okugunyaza ukuthi wena wakhe le document njengoba uthi wena uyakhe le document cha kusho ukuthi ke umphenyi kuleli cala uyena applyayo ke bese ke imanje nayo iyasayina ukuze ikwazi ukuthi igunyaza ukuthi kwenziwe lo msebenzi.
That I understand. The investigating officer applies from the magistrate to approach Vodacom, for Vodacom to supply them with particular information in relation to a particular cell phone. That I understand. I want to know, in respect of the police, what body of authority do you have or legislation that authorizes you to do exactly what Vodacom does?
I received a sworn statement from the investigation officer which authorized me to do the necessary analysis for you.
Thoke muphike umthetho lo gunyaza amaphoyisa ukuthi awasebenzisane nalokhu okukhishwa uVodacom. Asithi ke cha umphenyi uthole istatement esivela kumphenyi esiyisona statement esamgunyaza ukuthi awenze lo msebenzi.
My Lord, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's section 36 of the Constitution Act which allows me to make use of any exhibit to prove that the crime has been committed. But I can be wrong. I know there's a section which allows us to work on that.
Athi ukuthi khona section 36 okuwona umgunyaza ukuthi asebenzise inanoma yini ukuthi alethe isiqiniseko sokuthi kukhona ubugebengu obenziwe.
I'm going to request you, Mr. Steyn.
You don't want to call him Colonel Steyn?
Sir, I'm going to refer you I'd rather refer you to sir. I always forget this phrase, sir. But in any
I'll
event,
do it on your behalf. Whenever you want to address him, you must just indicate to me, and I'll tell him, Colonel Steyn, Advocate Nisi is asking you a question. No
but
problem.
the court does not even have to do that, my lord, because from where I'm standing, I don't think that I'm committing an offense.
No, you're
when
not.
I refer to him as Mr. Steyn, that's not an offense. It can't be an offense, my lord.
My Lord, I'm also an officer of the court. I just want to establish the difference between a title and a rank. Because Colonel Steyn is an ex-police officer, and a title remains with him until he dies. So why are we keep on calling him Colonel if he's no longer a police officer?
He prefers that way.
No, my Lord,
That's what he told
can we
the court.
get a direction from the court? We cannot get directions from the witness. He will remain Mr. Steyn. In that docket, in that witness box, is Mr. Steyn. He's no longer a police officer. He's an ordinary citizen of this country.
I'm still holding my rank, my Lord.
Yeah, but we'll address you as Mr. Steyn, not as Kennedy.
My Lord, then I've got no purpose in court anymore. Because I get testified, give myself my witness statement is when I was a colonel in the police.
Or is that what he's implying, that because you're no longer a policeman, you can no longer testify?
Yes, that's correct.
No, I don't think he means it that way.
My Lord, let me also rise as an officer of this court. My Lord, for lack of better word, this is becoming a joke. For
I agree.
the sake of brevity,
I agree.
let progress be made.
Yes. In what way?
My Lord, whether he's a colonel, he's a master, as long as there's no insult, let us proceed.
Yes, okay.
My Lord, on the same vein as the court would normally refers me as Mr. Mnisi, I'm an advocate. My title is I'm an advocate. But throughout this proceeding, the court has been referring to me as Mr. Mnisi, and I never took any offense on that. So I also find no logical reason for Mr. Steyn to take an offense when I'm referring to him as Mr. Because that's not an insult. In any event, when he comes in there, a person says a Mr. It does not see a colonel. That's not an insult.
Yeah,
And I also find it very...
Can you
very
continue, Mr. Nisi? Continue.
That is exactly what the court has just done. The court does not address me as advocate. It says Mr. and I'm not taking an offense.
What does what does the ethics documentation state how advocates address the court?
The authority that the court has just referred us, I think it was the day before yesterday, it says for as long as you do not use a derogative word towards the witness, any word that symbolizes that you are respecting him, then that is fine. So I'm saying to him, Mr. He does not
fine.
want me
No
to
problem.
refer to
Okay.
him as Mr.
You
You wanted the court to make a ruling on this one.
No, I'm not making a ruling. You can continue calling Mr., but I will refer you as Colonel Steyn, okay?
Thank you, man.
Thank you, my lord. Now, Mr. Steyn, I wonder if you understand me. I say Vodacom derives their power or authority to deal with or to provide cell phone records from a particular number through the legislation that I've referred you to. Now, is there... now my question is, what body of the law empowers? Law means it can either be a body of the law, I refer to a legislation, a policy, things such as those that are saying to the police, through this you can do you can go and investigate a person's cell phone in order to get a particular information that you can then go and use at court. I want that authorization. What is that authorization?
That authorization, according to me, is Section 205, my lord.
Okay.
Njengoba lapha imuphi umthetho okugunyaza ukuthi uyiphoyisa uhambe uyohlola umakhalekhukhwini womuntu ukuthi uzosebenzisa la ecourt osethi yena cha mina ngibona sengathi usection 225.
Thank you. Is that the same section 205 that authorizes you that after you have received information from Vodacom for your own purposes of analyzing that information that you had received from Vodacom, you also need to add your 2-hour grace in your analysis in order to come to a particular result?
My lord, I can just mention the 2-hour rule got nothing to do with a Vodacom statement.
Exactly.
Thika hayi mina ngibona sengathi ke njengoba kuzothi umthetho iwona yini lo mthetho lokugunyaza ukuthi uphinde unezezele usebenzise lo mthetho lokuthiwa i-2-hour rule. Esethi ngibona ukuthi usemqoka lokho ukuthi ungafakwa la kulolu daba le ndaba ye-2-hour.
And that is exactly my point. What are the bases? Where do you derive authorization for you, having received information from Vodacom, for you to analyze it? You say you're making your own 2-hour grace into the information that you derive from Vodacom.
If your XRY program tells you that you must add 2 hours, and you got a document from Vodacom with, let's say, normal time on it, then you know you must add 2 hours. It's simple like that.
Athi ukuthatha phike lokho ukuthi uzofaka le 2 hours lena njengoba uthi ukusebenzisa lo mthetho 2-hour grace wathi no the Excel Y program iyona ekutshela ukuthi umuntu oqhubeka ukusebenza ufanele ufake ama-hour amabili.
With due respect, Mr. Steyn, I'm going to request you to make that information that says to you, if you're working on an Excel and information from Vodacom, you need to put in 2 hours thereon. But thank you. That's just a request. Now let's proceed. Now, you say I heard the court saying that Exhibit K5C and Exhibit K5 are documents that you had prepared yourself. Is that so? K5C and K5. These are documents that you yourself had prepared. That is what the court said. Is that so?
Can you just elaborate on prepare or do myself? I did go and print this document and hand it to the court as an exhibit. I never compiled this document by myself.
Thank you.
Athi la ngizwe inkantolo yethu K5C no K5 wena owalungisile lama document uzwaletha la wathi yayichama mawukuthi masisichaza ngokuthi ukulungisa sikhuluma ngani mina ngiwaprintile ngaletha lana ukuze ngizowasebenzisa lenkantolo.
So is it then correct that you only went into your system and printed this document in the form in which they are? You never changed anything on this document.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Athi wena ungaqiniseka yini ukuthi uye emshinini wakho wayo printa lama document njengoba enjalo akukho lutho akukho shintsho olulethile kulama document athi yebo.
So in essence what you're saying, this is exclusively a product of Vodacom.
That's correct.
Athi ke lo lawa ke usho ukuthi ama document asevoda khona athi yebo.
Thank you. Now, on the exhibits, K5C, which is the product of Vodacom, and K5, may you kindly take us directly to the transactions, which are the calls that were made between the number ending 4358 and the number ending 202.
If you only work on that document, it's not possible.
Athi kungasisa ke la khona imininingwane ehambelana nale number 4358 or noma u202 athi uma ukuthi yazi document uzokwazi ukuthi hayi lokho angeke kwenzeke.
So that information, these documents which you handed in here, they do not show the call transaction which allegedly happened between the number ending 435 and the number ending 202.
That's correct, but the phone shows that data is being used. With other words, the Blackberry web which he was using was active.
Thank
That
you.
is what you can read on that paper.
Okay.
You can see data has been used.
Yes.
Athi le ngakhombisa yena la khombisa khona ukuthi le khona la ezasetshenziswa khona lezi number 4358 no 202 athi cha akukho la ungakubona kodwa kuyakhombisa ukuthi kwakusebenziswa idatha la ngoba iBlackberry kwakusebenziswa lo mshini lo Blackberry web ekhombisayo ukuthi iyona eyayisetshenziswa uma kusetshenziswa le data.
So basically, you handed in this document to demonstrate that indeed this BlackBerry phone at a particular period was active, it used data. That's just to demonstrate that there was data used on this phone in this particular period.
If
through
you
this
look to
document.
that exhibit, that's correct, Lord.
Thank you.
Athi ubheka lapho uzobona ukuthi ya yebo le phone le isetshenziswa.
Now, that being the case, you then came to the conclusion that there was therefore a call that was made on the strength of this document, which are to prove that data was being used. That there was therefore a call that was made between the number ending 4358 and the number ending 202.
Like I already mentioned to the court, my lord, that's not enough. You have to use the second, obviously the third or fourth page on my exhibit 5E of this morning, where I indicate exactly that I used the download as well as the information on the section 205.
Andisenkhombisile la ngomuhlola kufanele ukuthi ubheke futhi na ku page 3 na page 5 waleli page la ngikhombisa khona ukuthi cha yebo iyasetshenziswa.
Thank you, sir. That is just what I wanted to clear. I think we will come to the exhibits on the documents which you handed in today, when the court takes you through that which the court would request you to clarify him on. I think we'll have an opportunity to cross-examine you after the court would have requested you to clarify him. Thank you.
But my lord, if you could remember correct, on Monday and Tuesday I did discuss that CD with them. I did point out to the court the times the calls or the transactions happened.
Ngikhumbula kahle ngathola ukuthi umsumlo ngakukhombisa lesidi ngayikhuluma nabo ngabachazela ukuthi lama transaction enzeka nini.
Thank you, sir. Now let's go to exhibit K4. Exhibit K4. Have you already been able to find it?
That's correct.
Thank you. Now, who compiled this document, exhibit K4?
That's what I received from the downloader.
Atwa K4 bano ayicompare bathinda ile ngayithola ku downloader.
The downloader will be one of the TSU members.
No, it's going to be Sergeant Muswana.
Athi uyana ino omunye walaba baleli qembu TS you said TS what?
TSU, but he has corrected me to say
omunye weqembu le TSU wathi cha ngithole ku Sergeant Muswana.
Thank you for the correction. And then, after you received this document, you went on to analyze it in order to compile your own viewpoint on whether or not there was indeed a communication between the number ending 358 and the number 202, not so?
That's correct.
But uyahambile ngosiyohlaziya ukuthi ngabe kwenzekile yini ukuthi number 4358 no 202 zikwazile yini ukuxhumana nathi yebo.
So I'm going to request that for purposes of understanding this document or for purposes of naming it, although it's named, it's exhibit K4, because I did not know where this document comes from, we're going to say this is a download that Mr. Stein received from Mr. Muswana.
That's correct.
Just for ease of reference.
Athi ngaye ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sibe negama esingalisebenzisa sibiza ngokuthi download evela kwaMshwana wathi yebo.
And you're saying you went through this document, you analyze it, you understand the content of the document.
That's
after you
correct.
receive it.
Ufundile le document wayihlaziya uyazwisisa ukuthi kunani wathi yebo.
Thank you. I must be very sincere with you that the process that me and you are going to embark on is going to be rather very tedious. But unfortunately, that is what I need to do. I just got to do it. Now, as I'm saying, I don't know what this document is. All that I see here, it's numbers of cell phones and all the information that is contained here. But from what you're saying, this is a download. But nonetheless, let us look at this document. Is it true that it has got a number that ends with 358, not so? on the extreme left of the column.
That's correct.
Athi kuyiqiniso yini ukuthi ikhona le number egcina ngo358 wathi yebo?
And that number is common throughout those pages, not so?
That's correct. It's because it's a download of that file.
Yes.
Wathi yebo le number le ngathi ihlale ibonakala lapha athi yebo ngoba i-download yaleyo phone.
And the next column on the first page, this document is not even numbered. There are so many pages, but they are not numbered, but it's fine. We'll try to navigate through that. Now the next column there, it says type on top there, not so?
That's correct.
Athi
Thank you.
liqiniso ukuthi ikhuluma elandelayo ikhuluma ngesikhathi.
And the next column thereafter, it says tell from.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Athi liqiniso ukuthi le khuluma elandelayo ithi come from.
Yes. And the next column thereafter, it says tell to.
That's correct.
Athi le elandelayo ikhuluma ibe ukuthi tell to.
Thereafter, we've got the next column that reads from.
That's correct.
Athi ikhuluma elandelayo ithi from.
The next column is to.
Le elandelayo ikhuluma ithi to.
That's correct.
Wathi
next-
yebo kunjalo.
The next column reads to, open bracket, MATC. Time, there's no close bracket there, so I don't know what that means. But that is what is scripted in the document, not so?
That's correct.
Athi kuleqiniso futhi ukuthi ikhuluma elandelayo ebhala ukuthi to yase kuvula ibracket wase kuthiwa MATC wase ithi time. Kodwa yangavala ibracket.
Now, the next column is duration, and the last one is storage.
That's correct.
Athi
Thank you.
liqiniso futhi ukuthi ikhuluma elandelayo ithi duration emva kwaloko ke ibisithi storage.
Thank you. Now, what follows is whether it was that number 435 had a missed call, whether it received a call from all those numbers that are written on the third column. They're not so.
That's correct.
Athi hawo le number egcina 435 iyabonakala ukuthi kukhona inamba eziningi ezazama ukuthi zishaye ucingo zangakwazi ukungena.
Thank you. For the sake of time, let us quickly jump to, when you look on those numbers, they tell from, there's that number there just towards the end of the page that ends with the number 677. 3/4 down the page, towards the end of the page, the number that ends with 677.
That's correct.
It's also followed by a number ending with 677.
That's correct.
It's
Athi ke
also
lapha ke musiya sigcineni kwekhasi khona la kune number egcina ngo677 phinde landele inumber efana nayo wathi yebo kunjalo.
yeah, I want our discussion to be concentrated on from that number onwards.
Yes, first siqonde ngo ingqoqo yethu iqonde ngo kulezo number ke lezi inkombise zona.
Now, 078270444358. There's a on the type, on the block written type, it says missed. Do you see that?
That's correct.
Thank
Athi
you.
ke le number ke lena egcina ngo4358 ngaphansi ke kwala la kushona kunywa khona ngetype okusho ukuthi uhlobo lokuxhumana lapha ibhala ukuthi missed okusho ukuthi ke igejila ikwazanga ukungena.
And on that block written tell from, it says 07767307677. Not so?
That's correct.
Athi ke lapha ke ngaphansi kwala kuthiwa ile number ucingo oluphuma kuyona ibhala ukuthi 277673077677.
Now, I don't know whether that next information falls under the column match or time, but be that as it may, the next information on that line in a parallel form reads 2014-0802. That is the 2nd of August 2014, not so?
Come again with the time?
No, I'm still on the date.
Or on the date, yeah, it's
Yeah.
the 2nd of August.
Yeah, the 2nd of August 2014, ne?
Wathi-ke lapha ngaphansi kwala kubhalwe khona to met see time ubhalwe ukuthi-ke umhla usuku lwesibili umhla ka-2 ku-August.
Now you go on to the next information, which I think it will be time. It says 05:55:42 a.m. That is now in the morning, not so?
That's correct.
Wathi uma sesiyesikhathini sithi 05:55 wemizuzu nemizuzwana engamashumi amane nambili.
And there is that UTC in bracket device, and the last information there under storage is also device.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Wathi-ke lapha-ke bese kugcina ngula kusho khona ukuthi UCT device ebethe ngasekugcineni-ke echaza ukuthi ebhalwe ukuthi device. Wathi yabo kunjalo.
Yeah. Now, for the sake of the information that I want to bring to your attention, let us concentrate from that point onward. Let us concentrate on the date and the time. In other words, we will no longer be reading that number that ends with 4358, whether it's a missed or whether it's a received, and who and the tell from. In other words, the first portion or the first 3 portions of the page, we would no longer be revisiting them. We'll only be concentrating on the last portion of the page where the time, the year, the UCT and the device are annotated. Are you with me?
That's correct.
Wathi
Thank you.
angeke sabheka-ke lapha esikhathini into esobheka kuyona soqonda ngo osukwini nasesikhathini.
Now, the next information after the one that I've read, it also reads, in terms of time, it also reads 02/08/2014, 5:56:17 a.m. UTC device and device, not so?
That's correct.
Wathi njengoba sefundile ukuthi 2014-0802 or 05:56:17 isikhathi athi isho ukuthi isekuseni UTC yasethi-ke lapha ngasigcine device yagcina futhi ngayo lo device.
Thank you. Now, the next entry there is also the 2nd of October 2014. The time is 6:42:53 a.m. UTC in bracket device 00:00:0018, and it also ends with device, not so?
That's correct.
Wathi okulandelayo kubekwa usuku umhla ka-2 ku-August 2014 isikhathi u-6:42:53 second, and bese-ke sekuseni UCT device. Kodwa-ke lapha ngaphansi kwa-duration ibisikhipha-ke ukuthi kunemizuzwana eyishumi nesishiyagalombili besithi ngasekugcineni u-device. Wathi
Thank you.
kunjalo.
Now, the next entry is also on the 2nd of August 2014, and the time now it's 07:15:52 a.m. In other words, it's 15 minutes, 52 seconds past 7 o'clock in the morning, and there is that UTC and the device in bracket, and the last inscription there is also device, not so?
Yeah, but just please keep in mind, every
I'm
time
saying not so.
I just
I've
want
just
to draw
read
the
you
court
information,
attention to
sir,
something, my
understand.
lord. Because now
Understand,
he's
sir.
reading time and he put words in my mouth. And I just want to put the court's attention on it. There stands UTC. In
Yes.
other words, it's 2 hours. So he can't tell me now it's 7 o'clock in the morning. So it must be 9 o'clock in the morning.
No, but
What does the UTC means? It's a plus 2 hour rule.
it's fine.
It's fine, yeah. But
It's
don't
fine.
tell me then, now you want to come back with the loud speaker and tell me I said this. Just rectify my please, my lord.
My lord, I don't know what is the court's take on this attitude, because I'm just reading what I'm seeing here. Then the witness takes is just diverting, is off-ramping, I don't know to where, but this is his document that is presented to court here. And he says, I must understand what this UTC stands for. I don't know what does it stand for.
Yeah, but then he's trying to explain to you what it stands for.
But I'm going to request the court, my lord,
What?
also to try and direct this witness in a proper way, that a witness should be couth. The court must instill couthness in the behavior of the witness.
Mr.
Thank you. I'm proceeding, my lord.
Yeah.
This is time for the short adjournment. Can we take the short adjournment?
Yes.
Is it please the court, my lord?
Yes, please.
Mr. Stein, just before we proceed on what we were on before the adjournment, just one thing. You say your findings are telling you that there wasn't a call between the number ending 358 and the number ending 202. Now what I want to find about that is, and there was a usage of data there, not so. In other words, the number 202, ending 202, called the number ending 358. In the first call, they used data. Is that what you said?
That's correct.
But what is the number 358 202? Kumana kwabo kwakusetshenziswa data uthi yebo.
And what about the second call?
Also?
They also use data.
Yes.
But uma sekuzoqhunyana futhi wesibili okusasetshenziswa yona i-data.
Thank you. Now, was it a WhatsApp call? Was it a Skype? Was it a Zoom? Was all these social media things? What was actually used there?
The Blackberry net, like you can read in that one paper?
It was a Blackberry net.
Yes, yeah.
And when was the
kusetshenziswa-ke lapho kusebenzisa WhatsApp noma kusebenzisa Skype noma kusebenzisa Zoom bese uma ungabheka lapho ungabona ukuthi ubhala ukuthi kusetshenziswa blackberry.net.
Thank you. So in other words, the person who initiated the call, that will be the number allegedly ending with 202, is the one that called the number ending 358, but the medium of communication there was through the Blackberry net.
I can't tell what did he use. He could have used something else. I only got proof that 385 was using.
The 358 was using Blackberry
That's right,
net.
yeah. That's all I can testify.
Ndike manje maqhumana-ke lezi namba usho ukuthi 202 yena-ke washaya ucingo eshayela ule egcina ngo-358 ukusetshenziswa yona yini i-Blackberry athi angeke ngikwazi ukuthi ngisho ukuthi wayesebenzisani kodwa ngikwazi nje ukuthi u-358 wayesebenzisa i-Blackberry.
But it is also so that also in respect of the second call, data was used.
I presume, yes.
Athi ngithatha ngokuthi nakule call elandelayo nakhona ukusetshenziswa i-data.
No, I don't want you to assume. I want you to state it as a fact.
I can't put it as a fact, my lord. I didn't have his 205.
But ngoba nganginayo i-205 angeke ngikwazi ukubeka kube nesiqiniseko sokuthi ngempela kwakusetshenziswa i-data.
Neither is phone download.
And futhi-ke ne-download yaleyo phone angenayo.
So we're not sure whether he used data or he used straight, what do they call it now, airtime.
Yeah, if you put it like that, you can't. I can't testify on that because we don't apply for 205 that time.
Athi hayi uma ubuzayo ukuthi wayesebenzisa i-airtime ejwayelekile noma esebenzisa i-data ngeke ngikwazi ukuletha isiqiniseko solowo ngoba asizange ngaleso sikhathi singayiceli i-205.
Exactly my point. I'm saying to you, based on what you have just explained now, we can't tell whether he used data or he used airtime.
That's correct, my lord. I
Thank
can
you.
only testify on what I got in front of me.
Athi yebo ngeke ngikwazi ukusho ukuthi wayesebenzisa i-data noma esebenzisa i-airtime engakwenza-ke nje ukuthi ngilethe ubufakazi ngalokho okuphambi kwami.
Thank you. Let us now go back to Exhibit K4. Now, the last transaction that we were busy with is that transaction on the 2nd of August 2014. The time there reflected as 07:15:52 a.m. UTC in bracket device, and there's that also other device weight which is not in bracket, not so?
That's correct.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
Now let's go to the next transaction, which is very key to this case. Now we are going to read it from the beginning. Now 0782 7044358, that's the first column. Received, that's the next column. Then the next column says tell from 077 3305 9202. There's no inscription there on those other columns up to the date. The date there is indicated as the 2nd of August 2014. The time is indicated as 10:47 p.m. UTC in bracket device, close bracket, and there is also that duration which is 00150 device, not so?
That's correct.
Bathi ke lapha ke inamba e082 7044358 yathola ucingo oluvela kule number u20 plus 2773 305 9202 ngomhla ka2 ku-August 2014 isikhathi kwaku 10:40 47 wemzuzwana ikhombisa futhi ukuthi ntambama UTC ithi device futhi ebese ikhombisa lapho ukuthi bahlala umzuzu wodwa nemizuzwana amashumi amahlanu ekhombisa futhi nasigcinela ukuthi device wathi yebo kunjalo.
And there is that P28 there. Do you have to bear any knowledge what does it stand for? I think it's 28, isn't it? Yeah. Do you know what does it stand for?
What stands for?
The P28, the very last.
It's P23.
Oh, it's 23, yes, P23.
I type it in there. It's a reference number to my page 23 of my statement.
Wow, okay.
Wathi akhona lo 23 lapha egcineni wathi hayi iloko engibhalile nje mina ukuthi ungikhombisa ukuthi uphuma kulephi ikhasi kuma reference arm.
Thank you. Now let us proceed. Still on the 2nd of October, I'm sorry, the 2nd of August at 9:55.55 a.m. UTC in bracket device, just 000000 device. That is the inscription on that paper, not so?
That's correct.
Wathi ke masesidlulele lapha umhla ka2 futhi ithi isikhathi 095555 ebesithi AM okusho ukuthi kusekuseni UTC ebese kuthi lapha ukuthi isikhathi singanani athi 0000 athi yebo kunjalo.
Thank you. Now, the next entry there, it's still on the 2nd of October 2014. The time is indicated as 9:59:30 a.m. UTC device, and there is that last device there, not so?
That's correct.
Wathi ke lokulandelayo ekhombisa isikhathi 9:59:30 ithi AM okusho sekuseni ithi UTC device wathi yebo kunjalo.
Now, the next entry is also on the 2nd of August 2014. The time is stated there as 10:03:24 a.m. UTC device, and is also device at the end. Not
That's
so?
correct. That's correct.
Thank
Khombisa
you.
sami isilandelayo esithi 9:59 is 10:03:24 isithi AM ebesithi UTC device wathi yebo kunjalo.
Thank you. For the sake of progress and brevity, I would like us to deal with the following last entry that is stated as being the 2nd of August 2014 at 10:07:25 a.m. UTC device, and there is also that last wait device, they're not so.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Athi asigcine la ethi khona 10:07:35 AM UCT device wathi yebo ubhalwe kanjalo.
Now, do you agree with me, sir, that when you look at this information, there's a chronological flow of sequence of information throughout, not so?
No, I can't agree.
Bathi ungavuma yini ukuthi kunohlu olulandelekayo oluhambisana nesikhathi lokuthi ize okwenzeka ngasiphi isikhathi bathi cha angikwazi ukuthi ngivumelane nawe ngalokho.
My Lord, it's clear to me that he is busy misleading the court. He starts with the numbers ending with 7677. Just the line before that starts with 01:14:19 PM, and it's also on the 2nd of August.
Athi hayi lana ngiyabona ukuthi uzama ukuthi adukise inkantolo ngoba kukhona lapha ngesikhathi sika 07:01:14:19 la isikhombisa khona ukuthi ithi PM oshuthi ntambama.
Thank you. That is exactly my point. Let me put it this way. Do you agree with me that in all the information and just before the transaction that you have referred to, there's a chronological flow of the sequence of the information that is contained there, not so?
I can't agree because you can't just work on a piece of something. You must take the whole day in consideration.
Athi yabona yini ukuthi lapha kulezi number ilezi ikhathi ezingaphambili yabona ukuthi konke kula ikhathi zilandelana kahle wathi ukuthi awukwazi ukuthi uvele nje uthathe into eyodwa bese uzama ukuchaza kufanele ubheke usuku lonke.
Let us take the two transactions, Mr. Stein, that are preceding to the transaction where that number 202 is involved. Let us take those two transactions and look at them. Just the two previous transactions before that. Is it correct that they reflect as the date is the 2nd of August 2014, the time is 06:42:53 AM, that is in the morning, not so?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yabona yini ukuthi la kula ekhathi ezimbili ezandulela lesikhathi esisibhekile la yabona yini ukuthi zikhuluma ngesikhathi sesekuseni wathi yebo.
Immediately thereafter, there's a transaction that indicates that on the same date, which is the 2nd of August 2014, at 7:52 AM, in other words, the first transaction that I've referred you to took place at 42 minutes past 6:53 seconds. In other words, it's 18 minutes to 7 in the morning. The next transaction is taking place at 15 minutes past 7 in the morning, not so, and 52 seconds, not so?
I agree with that time.
Thank you.
But like I already mentioned to the court, there is some other ties also mixed up. You can see all the days is together, so I can't just work on a piece.
Just be patient, Mr. Stein.
Athi yabona yini ukuthi kulezi ikhathi ezimbili ezandulela lesikhathi esisibhekile ziyalandela ziyabonakala ukuthi ikhathi ezilandelanayo. Sothi no cha ungabheki kuphela isikhathi sifanele ngoba kuningi ukuhlanganiswe la.
Now let us come to the number ending 202 where it was allegedly involved here. Now, on the same date of the 2nd of August 2014, that number or the sequence of the flow of information indicates that at 10:47 PM, that number was involved with a number ending 4358. But the crux of the thing of my question is that entry, the last entry before the entry involving the number 202, says this number ending with 358 was active in something, I don't know what it is, at 7:52 a.m., which is in the morning on the 2nd. In other words, at 15 minutes past 7, 52 seconds on the 2nd of August, 2014, in the morning, it was active. Now, immediately thereafter, the next transaction, still on the 2nd of August 2014, this document tells us that at 20:47 in the evening, that is 20 minutes to 11 o'clock, this device, 358, received whatever that it received from a number 202. That is already in the evening. But then when you go further, the next entry thereafter, it takes you back to the morning of the 2nd of August 2014 at 9 minutes past, at 9:55. In other words, it's 5 minutes to 10 o'clock in the morning on the 2nd. Now, the gist of my question is that a chronological flow of events? Was that a chronological flow of information? The last entry before the entry of the 2nd of, where the number 202 is involved, says this gadget ending with the number 358 was active at 7:15. The next entry, where the number is involved, 202, it says it is active at 10:47 p.m. now. It's already in the evening. And yet the next entry subsequent to that, it goes back to 9:55 a.m. in the morning. Still on the same date. Let me put it like this. According to this information, it says that gadget ending with the number 358, at 7 in the morning, it was active. It received something that it received from where it received from, 7 a.m. in the morning on the 14th, on the 2nd of August 2014. The next entry, it says the same gadget at 10 in the evening, it received whatever that it received from the phone ending with 202. The next entry thereafter, it says the phone ending with number 358 on the same date received or was active at 9:55 a.m. in the morning. In other words, it is active in the morning. The next entry, it's active in the at night. Then the next entry is also active in the morning in the same date. Do you follow what I'm saying here?
My Lord, I don't even think I can answer this question. I already draw the case, the court's attention to the first entry that morning. It was 1:01:14:19. Then it jumps to 05:55:42. And then it's at 4 or 5 conversations or transactions in the morning. Then it jumps to 10:40. Then we go down for 4 or 5 other transactions. Then it jumps back to PM for 3 times, then again AM. So it's not, I don't see his point.
Tika mina la umbuzo wami uthi lana uyabona yini uthi ngo-7:15:52 kukhona okwenzeka kule phone. Emva kwalokho ngo-10:40 isiyasho ithi kukhona okwenzeka, kodwa ke lana isithi intambama. Ebese ke iyaphinda futhi misiqhubeka esithi ngo-9:55 56 seconds ekuseni khona okwenzeka. Uyabona yini ukuthi akubonakala sengathi kukhona uhlelo lokulandelelana kahle kwezikhathi. Athi yebo bese ngikubekile enkantolo ukuthi kukhona ikhathi la echaza khona ukuthi khona into eyenzeka ngesikhathi esithize, kodwa isikhathi esilandelayo kubonakala sikube sengathi akusona esilandela lesa. Ile ndlela ekubekeke ngayo kuleli phepha.
Mr. Smith, I'm sorry, Mr. Stay. I am not thumb-sucking information. I'm only stating what is contained in this document, the chronological sequence of the flow of events, of activities in this phone on that day. I'm not missing anything. It is all here. I think the court is following me very well, what I'm trying to say.
No, I
Now,
can't.
with that in mind, let's go to the transaction of the 15th of October 2014. Eh? Yes. Go to the transaction of the 15th of October 2014, because with this, I'm going to wrap up my cross-examination. Basically, I won't repeat what I've just repeated, because what is also noted here on the transaction, which is on the 15th of October 2014, where the cell phone number ending 202 and the cell phone number ending 358, according to this document, according to the allegations that are contained in this document, had an interaction. Of what nature, I don't know. But that is what is described in this document. Again, you will see that just before that number ending 202, are you at that number?
That's correct.
Thank you. You will see that just before that number, we deal with the transaction of that number ending with 2, or where the number ending 202 is involved. On the 15th of October 2014, there's an inscription information that says at 6:43:18 a.m. in the morning. AM stands for anti-meridian. That is now in the morning. PM stands for post-meridian. That is now in the afternoon. But here it is said that on the 15th of October 2014, 06:43:18 a.m., that is now in the morning, this device ending with the number 358, had an interaction with that device ending with the number 348. Immediately thereafter, this device, according to this document, the device that ends with the number 358 had an interaction with the device that ends with the number 202 at 17:33:57 p.m., that is now in the afternoon. When you go to the next entry, still on the 15th, it says that the device ending with the number 358 had an interaction with the device ending with the number 082 at 06:49:58 a.m. in the morning. The same sequence of events are noted here. In other words, also on the 15th, at 6:43 in the morning, this device with a number ending 358 interacts with the device with a number ending 347 in the morning. Immediately thereafter, the entry that we have says that the device ending with the number 358 at 5:33 in the afternoon interacts with a device ending with the number 202. And yet, on the same day, at 6:49:58 a.m. in the morning now, the device ending with the number 358 interacts with the device ending with the number 082. That is how the chronological flow of events is depicted in this picture, in this document. Are you with me?
I'm with you, but still I want to put the court's attention on the following.
Yes, put it.
If you want to analyze something, you must have a bigger picture. You can't take an apple and eat halfway and only work on the one half. You have to eat the whole apple to get something back. So if you're still using just a piece of the 15th, so if you start on the first entry on the 15th, it's at 01:17:54, then it's 01:20:25, then it goes down PM, then it jumps to 17:53, then back to AM, and then I can promise you he will jump again. There, yeah, he jumps again. the 2 second lines in the 15, 1217 and 1233. I got no control on how the XRY program downloaded from the phone.
Bathi-ke hayi sabonakala namhla 15 ukuthi iy'khathi azilandelelani kahle wathi cha uma ufuna uzohlayiza ngeke ubheke into eyodwa nje kuningi okufanele ukubheke ukuze ukwazi ukuzwisisa kahle ukuthi kwenzekani.
The reason why this document does not give a chronological flow of information, it's simply because some information has been planted in here. And the reason why that information has been planted in here was simply to create a narrative, a very limping narrative, if I may put it that way, that there was indeed a communication between the phone ending number with the number ending 202 and the phone ending with the number 358.
No, my lord, I can't answer on that one, but I also can mention to the court. I already pointed it out that they tried to delete some information on this memory. So maybe that can cause something of that. I'm not the expert on the download side. I only receive information.
Yes.
So I can say, right, they did try to delete some of the information, maybe that's true, but I received this information and I work on this information. So what I received, I worked on. And I tell you now, according to Sergeant Muswana, that is what he got from the phone.
Wathi-ke lana ukuthi-ke kube nelenkinga ukuthi iy'khathi zingaqondi kahle la kule document ukuthi-ke kukhona-ke ubufakazi obujobelelwe kulo mbiko lona okungene ngenkohliso kulo mbiko lo wasethi cha angeke ngakwazi ukuchaza lokho kodwa-ke ngoba khona bakuzama ukuthi bazama ukuthi basule eminye imininingwane ebikhona la ngaphakathi kwele phone, so kungenzeka ukuthi mhlambe yikona okwenze ukuthi kube naloku kungacaci kahle kweyikhathi kodwa-ke lokhu okukhona lana ilokho okutholwe uSergeant Mushwana uma enza i-download yakhe.
Sir, would you agree with me that the document KK4 is not a PDF? Is not a PDF one.
That's correct.
Bathi-ke i-KK4 akuyona i-PDF athi yebo.
And if a document is not a PDF, it is capable of being converted. You can take out certain information, you can put in information in order for the person that is working on it to make it a user-friendly document.
That's correct, but like I mentioned in the court already, the way I received it, I didn't change anything, I just worked on what I received.
Bathi-ke uyafuma nami ukuthi ngoba le document akuyona i-PDF usho ukuthi-ke ofisa ukusebenzisa le document angakwazi ukuguqula okuthize kuyo le document elokhu iqhubeka enza umsebenzi. Wathi yebo kunjalo kodwa bese ngichazile ukuthi akukho lutho engakuguqula kuloko kukhona kule document.
I'm with you on that one, sir. You only were the recipient of the document in the state in which it was, and you had to work on it, the manner in the state in which it was presented to you, not so.
That's correct, ma'am.
Bathi ya mina nje i-document ngiyithole njengoba injalo and futhi ngaletha ubufakazi ngale ndlela engayo.
But the fact of the matter is this document is capable of being converted. The information in this document is capable of being converted, not so. I'm not saying you did it, I'm not saying Mushwana did it, but in general terms, the manner in which the nature of this document is, it is capable, the information in here is capable of being converted.
That's correct, my lord, but
Thank you.
I must also mention that I received the original CD from him. So it's direct from the XRY. And the CD you can't manipulate, or you can't change it, it's still the same CD from him.
Bathi uyavuma yini ukuthi lokho kula kule document lona uma kukhona ofisa ukuguqula iyaguquleka. Basethi yebo ngiyakuvuma lokho kodwa ke mina ngifuna ukuletha isiqiniseko sokuthi ngathola i-CD eyayivela kumshwana.
Thank you, Mr. Sale.
Thank
That
you.
will be all from me.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Numalo.
patient with us as we're moving around our papers. The space at which we're supposed to be working here is very consistent.
Colonel, would I be correct to say that when you get involved in this case was when Brigadier Gininda handed to you the documents on the 9th of April 2020 at 10 o'clock?
That's correct.
wathi qiniseni ukuthi wena waqala ukuthi ubandakanyeke ekusebenzini nale document ngomhla 9 wasethi yebo.
Is it also correct, Colonel, that when you got involved in this case, as you testified in your evidence in chief initially, on the 27th of July 2023, you already had the Section 205 records?
That's correct.
Wathi ngomhla 27 July 2023 umuntu kasenza le document osunayo section 205 wathi yebo.
The Section 205 records, Colonel, were applied for by the previous investigation team.
One of the previous investigation teams.
Wathi ke le section 205 yayi applyelwe ithimba leli lokuqala elale phenya lolu daba. Wathi owaye applyela ko omunye owaye kuleli thimba lokuqala elalenza uphenyo.
Who is that member?
I know Captain Boonstra, now Colonel Boonstra applied for it, that I did read on the Section 205.
Wathi kwakubani yathi uKenneth Boonstra wayapplyele.
Colonel, I just want to go through this exercise just to make me understand. I'm not trying to waste the court's time, but I want to understand this process. The Section 205 records are generated by an application which is made to a magistrate. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Wathi section 205 lena kusho ukuthi ke uma ithunyelwe ku magistrate iyona ke eyenza ukuthi ke kwakhiwe lo mbiko lona wathi yebo.
It will then be sent to the service provider. It could be either Vodacom or MTN.
That's correct.
Wathi mva lokho ithunyelwa ke kwalabo abathola izingcingo mhlawumbe MTN noma Vodacom wathi yebo.
From your information or knowledge, Colonel, then what happens after that, after the completion of the Section 205 records?
It's to Vodacom via TSU, and it's go back to TSU. Then the investigation officer come and collect it.
Wathi ke emva kwalokho kwenzekana ukuthi ayisiya ku Vodacom idluliswa iTSU and then ebisibuyiswa ku Vodacom ilitha ku TSU ibisithola umseshi.
This TSU unit, Colonel, is it the central database of the South Police Services?
No, it's just it's a technical support unit. It's a unit who's working directly with, let's say, Vodacom. And that's the only link is between them. They're the only ones who got a link straight with MTN or Cell C or the other stuff. We can't just go as a normal investigation officer and reply.
Wathi ke manje le TSU i-database yesenzwa ispace sonke wathi cha kusho ukuthi lana i-technical support unit ibona kuphela bakwazi ukuxhumana nabase Vodacom ukuze bakwazi ukuthi banikezele ngolwazi oluthize abalidingayo.
Colonel, I just want to refer to the records of the 27th of July, 2023, at page 62 of the record.
62?
Yes, at page 62. That is your evidence in chief. On the 27th of July 2023, that was the stage when we were being led by my colleague, Advocate Banoy. I'll commence from page 10 of page 62 of the record.
Of the record, not my statement.
Not your statement, of the record. It's a transcribed record. I don't know whether it can be pinned for the assistance of the witness. My Lord, we are still getting assistance from the state to bring the record of the 27th of July 2023.
Is that?
We are still getting assistance from the state to beam the record of the 27th of July 2023.
See, you got that?
No, it's with,
I see.
I got my statement, but not the record.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you, my Lord, for the court's indulgence. I'll start reading, Colonel, from page 62, paragraph 10 of the record. Sorry, not paragraph, line 10 of the record, I'm sorry. Where it reads as follows, and I quote, I just want to draw the attention to the court as well, that a Section 205 information, not one of the team members applied for that, but it was stored on the central database of the police. So that is why it was been applied for by previous investigation officers, but we did have access to that. Close quotation. Do you understand that passage, Colonel?
That's
what
correct.
it says?
Tilana umefunda lapho uthi ngisafuna ukuthi ke inkantolo ibone lokuthi iqaphele lokuthi usection 205 akuzange uaplayelwe omunye waleli themba kodwa ke yayigcine ku central database yesiphoyisa okusho ukuthi ingalokho ke sasikwazi ukuthi ingalokho ke aplayelwe ila ileli thimba leli ngaphambilini elaliphenye kodwa ke sasikwazi ukuthi sifinyelele wathi yebo.
Colonel, we now know that you did not apply for this Section 205 records, but it was applied for by the previous investigation team. But what I want to understand from you, Colonel, is this central database of the police. What is that? The central database of the police.
Remember in the time, my Lord, when I started to work on this case, it was during, I think, 2020. Then I was still a member of the Hawks.
Athi uma ngiqala ukusebenza kuleli cala kwaku 2020 ngangisasebenzela ngaphansi kwethimba lama Hawks.
And as a member of the Hawks, we got our own unit in our offices, the PCMC.
Wathi ngithi ke sasine unit yethu ekuthiwa CMC.
That's a Priority Crime Management Center.
Lapho ke kuthiwa ilaba sensa namacala aqavile.
Our head office is here in Silverton,
Amahhovisi ethu la eSilverton.
with all our data stored here.
Shithe yonke idatha yethu igcinwe khona la.
So even if we receive, like in this case, the police did apply for a number,
Nanoma kukhona imininingwane eyayi-aplayelwe amaphoyisa.
because they got, let's say, obviously a duplicate, or they also store all the 205s which has been applied for or worked on by some of the Hawk members. It's on that database.
Shithe ke onke ama-205 ay-aplayelwe ibo bonke agcinwe kuleyo database.
So
In your department,
That time my department.
Athi ngaleso sikhathi kwakuyi-department yethu.
So this central database of the police was also, you could access that information in your department.
That's
which is
correct,
yours.
yes.
Athi department yethu sasikwazi ukuthi sifinyelele yonke leyo information eku-central database yamaphoyisa.
Remember, when the police apply for a number, there was a 2 or 5 done. Then it's become from Vodacom, it's our property, then we store it on our database. So if I want to go back, let's say it's a 2010 case, and I want to see if that time, maybe I don't even know, they apply for that number in Cape Town, and it's applied by the police, it's on the database, I will get hold of that number.
Athi-ke uma wenzeka ukuthi khona number e-aplayelwa sigcina u-database yethu, kodwa uma ukuthi khona engifunayo mayelana naleyo number, ngihlola leyo database ngoba ngenzeka ukuthi ngabe kukhona abanye mhlawumbe abangaseCape Town ababeke ba-aplayela leyo number.
So in this central database system, Colonel, will you also access the records for the number ending 358?
That's correct.
Athi ngiyabo singakwazi ukuthi sithole imininingwane yale phone number 4358.
In what format is this, when this information, the Section 205 records, are in that central database system, in what format are they?
They are also in both the PDF and as well in the Excel spreadsheet.
Athi-ke ingaluphikela kuhlobo lwama-document ogcinwa ngalo kule central database. Athi yabo ulithola luyi-PDF nalolu hlobo lwe-Excel.
Is it correct, Colonel, that the PDF format you cannot manipulate and change the information which is stored in the system? Will you
That's
agree
correct.
with me?
Bathi kuyiqiniso yini ukuthi angeke ukwazi aliguquleki i-PDF athi yebo.
As compared to the Excel format, you can manipulate or change, edit, delete the information which is stored there.
That's correct. It's up to you. If you want to change it, you can, but why?
Bathi-ke kuyiqiniso yini ukuthi ingaguquleka okubhalwe ku-Excel wathi yebo kodwa-ke uzobuguqulela.
If you say, Colonel, that we did have access to that central database system, what access are you referring to? For what?
That access, I only got, let's say, an inquiry function on that one.
Let us be specific now.
Yes.
I'm referring to that number, the number ending 358.
Yes, I only got access to draw it. I only got access to draw the information. That is the same information which Vodacom sent to TSU the first time. You got the case number underneath on the page.
Bathi-ke hayi engangivunyela ukwenza nje ukuthi ngangikwazi ukuthi ngiyodonsa noma ngikhiphe le information lapha ku-database ngoba ingaphansi kwe-TSU.
I'm referring to the Section 205 records now,
Yes.
of the number ending 358. So you had access to draw. What do you mean to draw? To look at some information that you wanted for investigations?
That's right, yeah. One of my main reasons for that was to compare the CD which I received from the investigation team, Brigadier Gaginda, to mine.
Bathi-ke hayi ukuthi-ke ngiyobheka lapha ngangibhekela ukuthi ngiyokwazi ukuthi ngizame ngiqhathanisa le information enginayo ekwayo kule CD enganginikwe uBrigadier Gaginda naloko engangiphethe kuwokwami.
So, Colonel, other than the information that you could access in the central database of the police in your office, that is the Section 205 records, did you have any other records? For instance, the records from the service provider, which were compiled by Ms. Vitilingam. Did you have those records?
No, there's going to be a lot of other numbers. It's like I mentioned. I won't even know if this guy applied for someone's number. It's been thrown on the big central base of us. So if I come and draw that number and I'm lucky someone applied for the number, I got access to that number.
Athona yini lolwazi le information eyivela kuMamButilingam athi hayi ningi inamba ezikhona la ngeke ngazi ukuthi ubani wacela enye i-205 so ngikwazi ukufinyelela konke.
During the period that you handled this case, Colonel, did you have access to the PDF format which was compiled by the service provider, Ms. Pinky Vitilingam?
That's correct.
Athi kuqaleni wawukwazi ukufinyelela le PDF document leyaletha abe service provider Ms. Vitlinga Matiabo.
When was that?
During 2020, when I received the information.
But nini watu ngo 2020 mnya 2020 labe ngathola khona yonke le information.
So you had access to the information in the central database of the police in your office, as well as the PDF format from the service provider, Vodacom, compiled by Ms. Pinky Vitlinga.
That's correct.
Ushuthi ke awukwazi ukungena kulo yonke imininingwane ekhona lapha ku database nela ephe office lakho nalo information oyithola ku Mama Vitlinga mothi yebo.
In respect of the two, that is what you had in your office and the PDF from Vodacom, compiled by Ms. Pinky Vitlinga, in relation to the date of the 2nd of August 2014, did you spot any differences in the transactions? Do you understand my question?
No, I don't receive any.
You have
pick
this.
Up any, yeah, I didn't pick up any, or I couldn't pick up anything because what I received from Vodacom, I work on it as a true version.
So I think the information obunayo ke office nale oyithola ku Mama Vitlinga ngomhla 2 ku August 2014 wabona yini ukuthi uMohlazi wabona ukuthi khona ukungafanani kwenye information neyothi ngizange ngibone lutho oluyinkinga ngoba ngangisebenzisa yona le information engayithola ivela ku service provider.
So on the information on both, that is the information in the central database and the information contained in the PDF format, you could not spot any difference with regard to the transaction of the 2nd of August 2014.
No.
But you can move back go central database or to central database no lapha ku PDF awuzange ubone yini ukuthi khona information ehlukayo kuloko kubelwa sethi cha masikhuluma ngomhla 2 ku August 2014 angizange ngikwazi ukubona ukuthi khona okungathi kwehlukile afana.
I will be specific, Colonel, in relation to the date, the 2nd of August 2014, the time is 22 hours, 40 minutes, 23 seconds. So there was no difference. Everything was the same.
You're working now on the Vodacom document?
Yes.
Yes.
But you guys so isikhathi ka 22 hours, 40 minutes and 23 seconds kule document eseVodacom. Akho mehluko engawubona.
Let us move on now to the 15th of October 2014 at 1700 hours, 33 minutes, 57 seconds. Did you spot any difference?
No.
Can I get the time again?
It's 1700 hours, 33 seconds, 57 minutes, 57 seconds.
But ngesikhathi ke ngomhla 15 ku August esikhathi lapho kwaku 17 hours 33 minutes 57 seconds awubona ngimehlo wathi cha.
So, Colonel, there's a point I'm getting at, but I need to lay the basis for this. That is what I'm doing now. In this system, the central database system, which you had access in your office, the Section 205 records, were they together or it was separate 205 records for each number?
It wasn't separate because the records I received, like I mentioned in the court, there was 3 numbers on.
Okay.
I can remember the one ends with 551 and the other one I think 0436.
Okay.
Ade lapha ku central database inumber lezi zazehlukene noma kwakuyi document echaza singehlukene kodwa okuneyinamba ezehlukene.
That is as compared to a PDF which is compiled by the service provider. You will find the records for that number only. Do you confirm that, Colonel?
Yeah, it's in a folder. If I requested, let's say, the number ending with 358, he will search it and he will give me feedback and say, right, I got this for you.
Manje ke lapha ku PDF kuna inumber zonke zikulapha ku folder kodwa ke uzokhipha lapha ukuthi le niningwane lena yale number le egcina ngo 358.
In relation now, Colonel, to the the information which is contained now in the Section 205 records. Do you have the Section 205 records for Ms. Pinky Mithilingam Colonel, which is triple J1 of the record?
Yes.
Is it correct, Colonel, that when one looks at that document, there is explanation of call data terms? Do you confirm that, Colonel?
Which paragraph you on now? Well,
I'm sorry. Is it correct that at the top there is call data? That is the MSISDN, the IMSI, the IMEI, the call date, call type, call duration, other party, dead party, cell ID, cell name, latitude and longitude at the top of exhibit J1.
That's correct.
Yes.
Tiyabonala lapho ukuthi khona ingcazelo ekhuluma ngokuthi lana IMSM, MSISDN, IMEI, no call data tiyabunjalo.
Is it correct, Colonel, that all Section 205 records from the service provider will have that information or the description of the transactions? Do you confirm that?
Not all of them, because it depends on what you're asking them.
Wathi uyafuna ukuthi kumevela le kwabona khombisa binazo zonke lezi ngcazelo ukuthi hayi lana kuxhomeke ekutheni ucele luphi uhlobo lwe-information.
In the event where you request for AMA data stream, that is where you use the airtime.
That's correct. It
Will you
depends
have
on
this
what-
information?
Yes, yeah, it depends on what you ask. If you ask for everything, all the users on the phone, you will get everything.
Wathi hayi lana kubhekwa ukuthi uyini oyicelile ngoba ungathi ucela konke uzothola konke.
My Lord, there is information that I requested from the state. It's in relation to a document which is in their system. I'll request that in the meantime that it be deemed.
What document is it?
The Colonel is going to explain what document it is, but I did discuss it with my colleague for the state.
Yeah, but I want to know whether they have the document or not.
They do have the document, my Lord,
So
because it was.
What's your
Yes.
problem? If you've got the document, go on.
Yes. I'll request my colleague, Advocate Sibana, to assist me with the beaming of that document. It's stored in their system under court document. My Lord, may I bring to the attention of the court that I'll later request that such document be photocopied and made as an exhibit. For now, I just want to progress with my cross-examination.
If it's in the evidence, as you know, every document is given an exhibit number and it becomes part of the record.
Yes. I just don't want us to stand down because we can, in the meantime, proceed with the cross-examination.
Fine.
And later hand it in as an
Yeah,
exhibit.
okay.
Yes, thank you. Colonel, I don't know whether you're able to see what is beamed there. Okay, thank you. Colonel, do you recognize that information there?
That's correct.
Yabona le information yayazi ukuthi yebo.
What is that?
That's a PDF converted to an Excel spreadsheet.
Athi lokho
Working
PDF eguqulelwe ku Excel spreadsheet okuyihlobo le document olusetshenziswayo.
Is it the first time to see it today, or we had
No,
come
it's
into
not.
contact with that document there?
Yeah, it's not the first time.
Athi
Okay.
akona ukuqala ngiyibona.
When did you see it for the first time?
2020 when I started working.
Ngaqala ngiyibona wathi ngo2020 mangiqala ukusebenza lana.
Is that the information which is stored in the central database that you had in your office?
It's part of that.
Bathi iyana information ewethu eku database yenu so bisila wathi enye yayo.
Is it correct, Colonel, that in terms of that information, with regards to the top part, it is similar to the terms that I read to you earlier?
That's correct. It's only adding that to the with date and time.
Bathi ke kuyafana yini nale information lebe ngikhombisa yona. Wasethi yebo kuyafana kodwa khona nje umehluko omncane la kukhuluma khona ngesikhathi ne date.
Colonel, I'm going to be direct with you that the information which is on the PDF format, which is compiled by Vodacom, is not the same as compared to the terms that are there. I'll take you, Colonel, to the exhibit, that is Triple J1, will work hand in hand with the information which is contained there.
Ngifuna ukubeka kwena ukuthi lo ihloko ezilapha kule document lena azifana nalezi ihloko ezisedocumentini evela Vodacom.
For instance, in that document which is beamed before us, there is a call type code. Do you see the call type code there?
That's correct.
Athi contact code ngiyayibona.
There is also, when you go to the right of that document, there is also LAC. I don't know, can you move the document to the right, colleague? There is LAC.
Bathi mase siyanga kwesokudla kukhona LAC kule document.
You see that LAC, Colonel.
Athi yabona lo LAC.
That's correct.
Athi yebo.
There is also cell ID.
That's correct.
Athi no cell ID ngiyambona.
It's cell ID, not cell IE. Cell ID, right? So you are now at item, Colonel, that there is information that you will have in the PDF format from Vodacom, which is not. Sorry, may I rephrase the question? You are at item, Colonel, that there is information that is in that document, which is not in the document from the service provider, Vodacom. Do you agree with me?
No.
Bathi uvumelana nami ukuthi kukhona information ekhona kule document kodwa engekho kule document evela kwa Vodacom. Wathi cha.
When you look at the call type code, is there a call type code in the exhibit Triple J1?
Which page are you now on the Triple J1?
At page 1586 of 4649.
Athi lapha ku Triple J1 ikhona yini ile call type code ekhona kule document yakho manje.
I agree with you. It seems to me there must be something else because I don't have this one in the one of Pinky. I got a totally different one. Remember this one, Pinky, the exhibit of Triple J, is a statement of Pinky. I got a statement straight from Vodacom.
Athi ke lesi statement lesi asokhumbula ukuthi anginaso mina enginaso lesi statement esivela kwa Vodacom. Kungesona lesi statement ngoba lesi is statement esivela kuPinky.
No, it's fine, Colonel, but I'm using the exhibit. It's a court document. It's exhibit Triple J1, page 1586 of 4649.
That's correct. But like I
So
said,
you agree with me that there is that code which is not in this document,
it's not in
J1?
that document, but that is a document from Pinky, from Vodacom herself.
Yes.
It's like, let's say, a private statement.
Yes.
I got a statement from Vodacom applied by Section 205.
Athi hayi phela yebo lo mehluko lo ukuthi lesi statement esivela kuPinki azenzele sona mina enginaso i statement esivela kwa Vodacom.
Colonel, Miss Pinky Vitillingham, when he has finalized the whole thing, he then compiled an affidavit, right?
That's correct.
In the
But Mr.
affidavit, there are
President,
Section 205 records
Sorry,
attached to the
sorry,
affidavit.
I'm now speaking at the same time.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
you can speak now.
I've now even missed what you were saying.
Okay, I'll start afresh. There is no problem. Is it correct, Colonel, that after the service provider, that is Miss Pinky Vitillingham, has finalized the whole thing, he will then compile an affidavit?
Adoyiqinise nokuthi uma Miss Vitillingham mase kwenze wonke lamaphepha ubhala affidavit.
That's correct.
But yebo kunjalo.
So accompanying this affidavit from this person, there will be records, the Section 205 records, you confirm that?
That's correct.
But yebo kuzo aphelezela le affidavit ama record section 205 athi yebo.
So the extracts, Colonel, that I've referred to is the extracts of this whole voluminous document which was compiled by Ms. Pinky Vitillingham. Amongst the extracts, I'm taking you to page 1586. 1586 is exhibit J1 of the record.
One 1586.
Yes, 1586.
But okay, that I don't. Okay, let me go to her statement.
The Section 205 record. Can you say assistance? With page 1586. Why not I see that it is 1300 hours? I think it is convenient that we take a long adjournment. Then, in the meantime, we will give Colonel.
What's the time?
It's 1300 hours, midday,
You mean 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock. Colonel, I've requested that we take a long adjournment. Maybe in the meantime, we will
No,
go
no,
through-
don't, let me just go here.
Okay, thank you.
1586.
Yes.
If you go to the statement of Pinky, it's page 1569, page 1500, 1651. You see there the page is already jumped.
But ungabheka ke umbiko kaPinki ama-page awafani. Ayehluka. Khona la eqa khona ama-page.
Okay, maybe if I can be specific, Colonel, 1586.
Give me the date, then I go to my original.
Yes. 1586, according to the information that I'm having, are the transactions of the 2nd of August 2014 at 2200 hours, 40 minutes, 23 seconds.
Or we can break it and do during the week, during the break I can search it.
Okay, thank you, Colonel.
Could you come back at 1:30 then? Okay. 1:30. 1:30.